HeartSave Y and HeartSave YA perform an automatic daily self-test to check operational readiness. The status of the operational readiness is permanently displayed in the status display, even if the power module is empty or missing. If the status display shows OK, the AED is ready for use. Was one of the tests during the self-test not successful? The status display shows a red X. Nevertheless, the AED may still be ready for use. In this case, open the lid of the AED. By voice message, the AED states the cause of the error, as well as instructions on how to correct it.
Power on. Call emergency services.
These voice messages are part of the regular start sequence of the HeartSave Y and YA, and can be heard every time you turn it on.
Plug in electrodes.
The electrode connector is not plugged into the AED. Plug the electrode connector into AED.
Electrodes expired. Please replace if possible.
The expiration date of the electrodes has passed. Replace the electrodes with new ones.
Continue to use the device if no replacement available. Electrodes overused. Please replace if possible.
The AED has detected that the electrodes have already been used once. Dispose the used electrodes and replace them with new safe pads.
Continue to use the device if no replacement available. Electrodes error. Device is not ready for use.
The electrodes are faulty and cannot be used. Dispose the faulty electrodes and replace them with new safe pads.
Low battery. Please replace battery as soon as possible.
The battery capacity will be exhausted very soon. However, at least 6 shocks are still possible at full power.
Continue to use the device if no replacement available.
Replace the battery as soon as possible. In case of an emergency, use the AED until it turns off. After that, continue all first aid measures without AED. During operation, low battery, please replace battery as soon as possible is repeated once after each CPR cycle. As soon as the battery capacity is completely exhausted during operation, the AED shuts down automatically. It is no longer possible to operate the AED with this battery. Replace the battery with a new one as soon as possible. In case of an emergency, perform normal first aid measures.
Battery expired. Please replace if possible.
The expiration date of the battery has been reached or exceeded.
Continue to use the device if no replacement available.
Replace the battery with a new one as soon as possible. In case of an emergency, it can still be used.
Battery error. Device will shut down.
The battery has an error or is faulty and the AED turns off. It is not possible to operate the AED with this battery. Replace the battery with a new one as soon as possible. In case of an emergency, perform normal first aid measures.
Internal error.
A technical error was detected during the self-test. The AED is not operational and will turn off automatically. Perform a new self-test. If the error persists, please contact our service department. No voice message is played when the lid is opened, or when the AED is turned on manually. The power button is not lit. Check if the battery is dead or missing. There may also be a serious technical defect in the AED. Replace the battery and perform a self-test. If the error persists, please contact our service department. In case of plug-in electrodes expired, or electrodes overused, the AED might nevertheless be operational. If used, certain restrictions or limitations can occur. In case of electrodes error, the AED cannot be used before these electrodes are replaced. With low battery and battery expired, the AED can be used, but the battery should be replaced soon. If the battery is empty or you hear battery error, the AED cannot be used until the battery is exchanged. If you hear internal error, or if nothing happens when you try to turn on the device, the AED is not operational. Check the battery and perform a self-test. If the problem persists, contact our service department.